Football game is underway from Gainesville. This is Butler from the 15. Butler brings it to the 36-yard line, and LSU has good field position to start this game. Starting lineups: Jamie Howard, a talented true freshman at quarterback for the Tigers. He is a second-round draft pick of the Atlanta Braves and is going to play pro baseball in the spring. On the offensive line, Darren Landry has started 27 consecutive games for LSU. Jamie Howard, a 6'1", 198-pound freshman out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Out of the I formation, and the handoff to freshman Robert Davis. And Davis is driven down at the 35-yard line by linebacker Ed Robinson. Gators defensive line, Bill Gunner gets the starting nod this week. He has taken that spot, that tackle spot, away from Henry McMillan. Gunner played very well last week at Mississippi. So did Monty Groh, who had 9 tackles last week against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Lawrence Hatch has unseated Del Spear at that quarterback spot. Hatch, his first start of the season. Odell Beckham got away from several Florida defenders and grinds out 6 yards or so before Will White and Monty Groh bring him down.
Odell Beckham was the starting tailback in this LSU offense last year. Been moved to fullback with the infusion of the young freshman talent, as we see the senior running out of the fullback position for LSU here in the 92 season.
Rushed for over 400 yards last year as you look at Steve Spurrier and his overall record for the Gators. That record you saw, his overall record at Florida. Spurrier's got a 20-6 mark, and that could be a first down for the Tigers. Kevin Carter and Ed Robinson in on the stop.
Henry McMillan just missing the tackle there behind the line of scrimmage, and it's close enough to mark as we look at Curly Hallman in his second year at LSU overall as a head coach. He's 21-29 with great success at Southern Mississippi.
A Texas A&M graduate is Hallman, second year at LSU.
You know, we're looking at a very young LSU offense, a true freshman at quarterback and a true freshman at tailback. You don't see that often in this conference.
Another young football team. LSU gets the first down. Series record has really tightened up the last 4 seasons as Florida has managed 4 consecutive victories against their Southeastern Conference rival.
Actually, both of these teams having success playing in the other guy's ballpark as well. So
I think in the 80s the visiting team won every year.
Yeah, unusual. Thank goodness we're in the 90s now, huh?
Howard has a great arm, and he really rifles that ball, and it's complete over on the far side of the field to Shedrick Wilson, another true freshman out of Thomasville, Georgia.
Just about a 10-yard out. This is a timing route. Cornerback's all by himself in the wide open spaces out there. And as you mentioned, that strong arm enables Howard to come up with the first completion of the ball game.
Pitch to Robert Davis. Gators have him surrounded and wrap him up behind the line. A 3-yard loss. Ellis Johnson at the bottom of the stack.
Once again, Henry McMillan getting penetration, and this time having more success in wrapping up the ball carrier. McMillan doing a nice job early in the ball game, penetrating that front line of a very experienced LSU offense. You talk about the freshman Robert Davis at tailback, but that's an experienced line in front of him.
Third down. Howard again throws complete, and again it's caught by Wilson in Florida territory at the 40-yard line. Lawrence Hatch. They're picking on Lawrence with the freshman.
Hatch replacing Del Spear at cornerback. It's a wide side of the field. Excellent protection. They kept in everyone that they could, anticipating the blitz, and were able to match up the wide receiver with the cornerback, and he was able to come up with another first down for the Bengal Tigers.
Play action. And the catch is made by Scott Ray. 15-yard play to the 25-yard line. Ray's first catch of the afternoon.
This is a good-looking drive as LSU's getting plenty of protection. You'll see some pressure late from Bill Gunner at the top of your screen, but the young freshman really does have the rifle arm. They say that he's an outstanding baseball talent as well.
He's a pitcher in the Atlanta Braves organization.
He must have a good high hard one.
Robert Davis and Ellis Johnson. And if Johnson doesn't make that tackle and Davis bounces to the outside, he might be in the end zone.
Johnson doing a nice job fighting off the block, refusing to give up, and making the tackle as he limps off the field, or tries to limp off the field. The coach evidently waves him back, says, hey, we can't have you over here.
He's probably healthier than some of the guys on the sideline.
Yeah, a lot of bumps and bruises in that defensive front.
2nd and 10. Howard again with pretty good protection. That pass is thrown low and incomplete, intended for Odell Beckham. Monty Grove was right on top of the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Kevin Carter, working from his defensive end position, took the inside on Simon, the offensive tackle, and was able to put just enough pressure on the young quarterback to make him look for a secondary receiver, not his primary receiver.
You get a look at that experienced offensive line. Howard is one of 4 quarterbacks. You look at William Gaines, Florida's defensive tackle. Howard, one of 4 quarterbacks that Curly Holman has tried, and it looks like they might be going with the freshman. Howard rolling away from pressure. Jacobs is the intended receiver. The pass is ruled incomplete. Jacobs wanted a flag thrown, but the official on the play said no.
Odell Spear was playing aggressively, going for the football. Monty Grove got trapped inside. The Gatorback, blitzing from the wide side of the field, got trapped inside, allowing Jamie Howard to get outside, and that almost allowed LSU the chance to come up with a successful pass, but just out of bounds, and good coverage by Spear.
Pedro Suarez out of Miami Lakes High School in Hialeah to try and put LSU on the board. A kick may have been blocked at the line of scrimmage.
Or he mishit it completely.
He really missed it badly if it wasn't blocked.
He made all conference last year on a number of listings. Let's see what happens. Does he hit it cleanly, or no? That's just a low kick, and I think someone did possibly
either Robinson or Bernard.
It was a combination of a poor kick and a high jump by one of the Gator defenders. There's Curly Hallman, who sees that first great drive go for naught.
Offensive lineup for the Gators. Matthews, the senior quarterback out of Pascagoula, Mississippi, trying to regain what the magic that he had the last couple of seasons and in game 1 this year. David Swain and Jason Odom, 2 new additions to the offensive line as Steve Spurrier is shaking things up. Florida's first possession of the afternoon with 10:47 left in the quarter. The handoff goes to Eric Rhett. Rhett is driven down by linebacker James Gilliard, a freshman from Shreveport. But Rhett picks up 3 or 4, and that'll be 2nd and about 7 for the Gators. Rhett has been shut down the last couple of weeks, and LSU's defense will try and shut him down again today. Nate Miller, a fine nose tackle. Ricardo Washington, the top tackler on this football team, McCorvey. We've seen him, it seems like, for the last 10 years, but he's just a senior at LSU. Fine football player out of that football-playing Pensacola family. Rhett carries again. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 5 for the Florida Gators.
Eric Rhett with success against LSU. We talked about 4 consecutive victories over the Tigers. One reason Eric Rhett was able to run the football with success.
Draw play to Rhett. Denied the first down. Again, Gilliard. And here comes Florida's punting team.
Not Gators. The way you want to start your first drive.
Well, they kept it on the ground and thought they might catch LSU off guard with the draw play on 3rd and 4, but give Gilliard credit for a good play.
Coach Spurrier mentioned it's hard to run the draw when they're dropping 7 men back in pass coverage, because you have a couple of guys who spy that tailback for the draw specifically, and again, the opponent able to shut down the draw of the Florida Gators.
Shane Edge deep to punt for Florida. Carlton Buckles is the deep man for LSU. A high snap, and Edge is going to have to keep it. He's got lots of room ahead of him. Edge still on his feet to the 45 of LSU. And I don't think that's the way they drew that play up, Jim.
A 23-yard run by the sophomore Shane Edge. The high snap forced him outside. You'll see him run outside the containment. I think for a moment he might think about, no, he's not even thinking punt at all. He's going to pick up the first down yardage, and then he says, hey, I might go all the way, but watch this hit. Oh, boom, right there. He might not run so often in the future.
23-yard carry for Shane Edge. Florida keeps possession of the football. Matthews play action. Got plenty of time. Rhett is on the receiving end and about a 9-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 1. Washington made the tackle. A penalty flag is down.
Oh, now they're going to call a late hit against Jim Watson, I think, the offensive right guard. After the play, he's contesting the official's call. See what it is.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense. It'll be a 2nd down.
This will take away the 9-yard play. As the official marks off the penalty, it is from the spot of the infraction. There's a look at the officials. And so it won't penalize the Gators as much as possibly it could have. The ball is moved back across the 50-yard line, however, to the Florida 47. Edge looked up and saw the backs of LSU players going back to set up the punt return, and he just ran toward the open turf. But now the Gators are 2nd and long. The pass is caught by Willie Jackson. They get about 5 yards back. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 13.
You can still see the anxiety in the feet of Shane Matthews as he drops back to pass and takes off out of the pocket, feeling the pressure, but able to find Jackson.
Gators, to keep the drive going, need about 13.5, 14 yards to get the first down. So far, the offensive line has done a good job, but Matthews may be looking at a blitz here. Well, the Tigers come with 4 on the rush. Pass is caught by Rhett, and the football pops out, and LSU's got it. Buckles along the sideline goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line of Florida. And the Gators have done what they don't want to do against LSU, and that's what they did last week at Mississippi State, turn the ball over. We'll take timeout from Florida Field. LSU football. LSU ball at the Florida 35 after the fumble recovery. Freshman Jamie Howard going for the deep one, and Jacobs, he overthrew him at the goal line. Lawrence Hatch step for step with the LSU receiver.
So often, as we've talked about previously, after a big turnover like this, you'll go for the big play, try and put the Gators away quickly. That Gator defense playing with their backs against the wall all season long because of these turnovers. I think the Gators have given up 8 touchdowns. 4 of them have been under 30 yards or less, primarily after turnovers.
And the Gators have only had 4 takeaways. Recovered 4 fumbles, have no pass interceptions so far this year. Nice play by Will White, an All-American senior out of Tallahassee. Ran down Davis near the line of scrimmage. Ball spotted at the 31. That'll be about 3rd and 7.
Robert Davis, the tailback out of Birmingham, the top football player in Alabama last year in many polls, and tried to get outside, but it was Will White, as you mentioned, making the great play.
Howard threw the ball through the hands of Scott Ray. Ray was open and the pass was there, but That might have been the equivalent of about a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
And we did talk about the high hard one that this kid might have when he plays baseball, and he really zipped it right through Ray's grasp. These guys got to be ready to catch those bullets. It was on target, just too much steam. Excellent protection up front. LSU looking very good on offense early in this ball game.
Showing some confidence in their offense here on 4th and 7 to go for the first down. And a catch. What a catch by Scott Ray with Kennedy all over it.
A super catch by Ray, the young man that just had the ball zip through his hands on the prior play. This time runs a down and out. Kennedy with excellent coverage, but Jamie Howard puts the ball where Kennedy can't get to it. Ray reaches out, makes a great grab right along the sideline, and on 4th down, LSU picks up that first down.
Big play for the Tigers. They're now inside Florida's 20. Robert Davis shakes one man, and the ball is down at the 15-yard line. Ed Robinson is there to make the tackle, and a penalty flag goes down late again. LSU, when it gets inside the 20, has been fairly effective. They have not had many big plays offensively, but when they have had success, it has been when their offense has carried a drive inside the 20 primarily.
And they've been getting touchdowns rather than field goals, and that's got to make a offensive coordinator happy, which, as we talk about offensive coordinator George Haffron, who spent the decade.
Dead ball, personal foul, automatic first down, half the distance.
Whoops, against the Gators here, a dead ball penalty. Talked about George Haffron being the offensive coordinator. He spent the decade of the 80s coordinating the offense of the Georgia Bulldogs, so he knows a thing or two about the Florida Gator defenses.
Probably been in on a few strategy sessions against the Gators. Hand off to Beckham. Beckham grinds out several to the 6. It'll be 2nd and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. 6:29 to play in the first quarter. No score, but LSU threatens after recovering a Florida fumble near midfield and carrying it on the fumble to the Florida 35-yard line. That's where this drive began for LSU. And now we have an official's timeout. Florida has an injured player. 6:18 to play in the first quarter. David Barnard is the injured Florida player, and we'll find out the condition of Barnard. Continue with the first period when we come back. Sports Channel's coverage of Gator action continues on Thursday. Gator Hotline at 6:30. Then next Saturday, the Gators and the Auburn Tigers. And then on next Sunday, Florida football with Steve Spurrier. Don't miss all the Gator excitement on Sports Channel. Check local listings for Sports Channel and Gator Vision coverage in your area. The crowd in the south end zone making a lot of racket. Howard rolls to his left. He's got lots of room and tried to shovel the ball forward, incomplete.
Oh, I think he was beyond the line of scrimmage. They're not indicating. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, he was. And the thing is, he could have just about tiptoed into the end zone.
That looked like Tennessee revisited as the quarterback bounces outside of the containment. Young Howard looks like he's going to sprint into the Gator end zone after he breaks containment, but I don't know. That was close. You can throw the ball underhand. You just can't throw it forward after you cross the line of scrimmage. That's where the penalty comes in.
Illegal pass. Quarterback was across the line. Loss of down. 3rd down.
It's a loss of down, as you heard the referee call.
Well, there's a freshman mistake right there. Howard actually hurting his team.
He might have scored if he'd held on to it. There was a Florida player coming out from the end zone, but still, they had lots of room. Now it's 3rd down and goal from the 10. And the pass is thrown incomplete. That time the freshman did get some pressure. And here comes the LSU field goal team.
Larry Kennedy and Del Spear doing a great job in the corner of the end zone, matched up man for man. As we look at Suarez now on the field.
He missed one earlier. This one will be a 26-yard attempt.
Out of Hialeah, Miami Lakes.
And this one is good. LSU draws first blood with 5:45 to play in the first quarter.
Suarez, that's not French, is it?
Don't think so.
We got a lot of French guys there, that
not
LSU team, but
not from Miami.
LSU does a great job recruiting around the Southeast, not only in Louisiana, but in the state of Georgia, Alabama. We talked about Mr. Football, Robert Davis, out of the state of Alabama, out of Birmingham, and comes into LSU as a starting tailback this year, as a true freshman. LSU recruits very well all over the Southeast.
It's a familiar ex-Gator, Ricky Nattiel.
The Rocket.
Ricky started the year in Denver, then had a shot with Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers, and went back to Denver. And I think he was recently released by the Broncos. So,
and he might be back before the season's over.
Looking to catch on somewhere in the National Football League.
A great career here at the University of Florida. Larry Kennedy, speaking of great careers, a true sophomore, had an outstanding season last year as a young cornerback, and also one of the top kick returners in the conference.
Florida's return tandem, as LSU prepares to kick it away. Darrell Frazier and Larry Kennedy stand deep. Tigers have gone up 3-0, taking advantage of a Florida fumble. Suarez kicks it. It's going to be fielded by an up man. And Kevin Freeman makes a big return on it, cross midfield to about the 48-yard line of LSU. He fumbled the ball around a little bit, and then when he picked it up, coverage almost went past it.
Freeman's a sophomore inside linebacker, and you're talking about excellent speed for a linebacker. A young man out of the city of Palmetto, the high school, Manatee High School, gets a chance to run the football. Probably played some fullback in high school, I would imagine, with that kind of talent.
Stepped out of bounds at the 50. Florida has excellent field position on its second possession of the afternoon. Matthews again finds Eric Rhett. Rhett almost finds the first down marker. We look at LSU's scoring drive. 9 plays, 25 yards. It stalled out around the 10, and then Suarez kicked the 26-yard field goal to give the Tigers a 3-0 lead. Second and short for the Gators. Rhett the handoff. Rhett gets the first down. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Bo Davis. But it's 1st and 10 for the Gators. Now to the sidelines and Steve Babbitt.
In the early going on the defensive side of the ball, you might have seen some of the tackles come out. At one time, Henry McMillan came out with a thigh bruise. Ellis Johnson came out at one time, and also David Bernard with an ankle sprain. They're all okay as far as going back in, but boy, you don't want to see that trend to begin early in the game. Again, we've always talked about the Gators not very deep on that defensive line.
Gator offense first down. Matthews going for the long ball, and Jackson, he was well covered by Ray Adams, and the pass is incomplete.
Willie Jackson having a step deep down the sideline. He was looking for the ball to his inside. Matthews had a little bit too much zip on it. The ball floated outside, and Jackson had no chance at all to make the catch.
2nd and 10. LSU 3, Florida nothing, first quarter. Good protection again for Matthews. Rhett is open all day so far. Off the play action, Anthony Williams brings him down after a pickup of about 8.
LSU rushing David, only 3 down linemen. Watch the 3-man rush, dropping 8 back in coverage, but it's a very soft zone, and Eric Rhett slips through the interior of the line and underneath the depth of the linebackers who have dropped back in coverage, and has picked up, what, 3 or 4 receptions early in this ball game.
3 wideouts on the field now for the Gators. Willie Jackson, Aubrey Hill, Jack Jackson. An LSU player was offsides, I think, on the snap. Penalty flag is down. Rhett, likewise, at the 30. Tackle made by Avery Hilliard.
LSU obviously offsides there. I didn't see any of the Gators move prematurely. Let's make sure on the call here.
Offsides, defense, first down.
One of the things that's really frustrated Coach Spurrier in this Gator ball club is their inability to run the football, to slam it down the opponent's throat. And they're trying as best they can to get Eric Rhett turned loose, and LSU doing a nice job of forcing that one along the sideline, although obviously they were offsides.
Gators have the first down inside the LSU 30. Quick toss to Everett. He fumbled the ball, and I think LSU's got it. Yep, Tigers recover the football. Florida fumbles it away for the second time in the first quarter.
A quick hitch pass to the receiver in the slot position. Trey Everett makes the catch, and there's the big hit that knocks the ball loose. He almost gets it back, and then the hustle of the LSU defense prevents him from recovering his own fumble.
Ricardo Washington recovered the fumble. I'm not sure who put the hit on. Somebody got a hat right on the football. LSU has it back with a 3-0 lead. Penalty flag goes down as Howard runs the option to the 25. It'll be 2nd and 5, but let's check the flag. The officials pointing toward the LSU side of the field.
Illegal procedure, offense, not enough linemen.
Boy, the game being played rather sloppily right now as we look at Ron Zook. There's either a penalty or a turnover or a miscue on one side of the line or the other. Both teams really not getting it together early in this ball game, although LSU has had success picking up a number of first downs.
First and 15 for the Tigers. David Butler has explosive speed and quickness and gets about 7 or 8 across the 20. It'll be 2nd and 7. Larry Kennedy there to make the tackle.
A well-executed screen pass as they invited Bill Gunner from the far side of your screen, right side of your screen, invited the end inside, dropped the ball outside on the screen, and there's the lineman hustling downfield to make blocks in the secondary.
Get the penalty yardage back and give yourself a chance to make a first down. Butler bounces outside, and then a fine play by Henry McMillan. And was there a fumble?
Now they're saying no. Actually, David, also a fine play too by Kevin Carter, the defensive end, as he crashed inside. Watch Kevin Carter right there. McMillan, the knee goes down. A nice call by the official.
McMillan, the sophomore out of Folkestone, Georgia. 3rd down. Howard had a lot of daylight. The pass was incomplete, I think. Bishop went down to his knees but couldn't bring it in.
The tight end tried to hook up in the middle, but it was the depth of the drop of inside linebacker Carlton Miles that broke up that pass play. Jamie Howard looking for his tight end just beyond the first down marker, but Miles was there to break the pass play up.
LSU punter Brian DeSells, contact in the line, and this may be 5 more against LSU. I think they had movement on the right side.
Gators have 10 men up front, and they're jumping around trying to get the attention of the punter and the snapper and hoping somebody will move prematurely.
Disregard the flag. Defense came in the neutral zone. Offense came up to react. We'll start the clock on staff. 4th down.
They said both teams were at fault there.
That's the second time we've seen that call this year.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a rule
call
book on that one. That's beyond my grasp.
Pretty good kick. Willie Jackson going the wrong way. Down he goes at the 29. 3-0 LSU late in the first period. We'll be right back. Late first period from Florida Field. Gators with the ball at their own 29. First down and 10. Again, the play action. Everett is wide open in midfield. He is bounced out of bounds by Pegues at the 47-yard line of LSU.
Trey Everett lines up in the slot to the left of the formation on the wide side of the field, and it's the excellent protection up front. Watch the protection allow Shane Matthews the time to look for the crossing route. He waits and waits until he clears the linebackers underneath, and there's Everett, the senior, on the catch.
24-yard pickup. Florida's across the midfield stripe again. They have fumbled on their first 2 possessions. Rhett with some blocking along the right side, and the tackle made by Corey White, but not before Rhett picks up 5 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Both of those prior fumbles in this area of the field in LSU territory after the Gators had moved into Tiger territory. Mike Bugar, David, on the staff here at Florida in the 80s, I believe.
Mike was on Charlie Pell's staff in 80, 81, and 82. Defensive coach.
Played at Florida State, was a Seminole as a ball player.
The end around to Everett. Nice cut back to the inside to make something out of what looked like was going to be nothing. Everett gets a couple of yards. Ricardo Washington there to make the stop for the Tigers at the 40-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3.
And there looks to be a
Washington is hurt.
Injured Bingle on the ground, unfortunately.
Very late in the first period. 25 seconds left. LSU has scored the only points of the game on a Pedro Suarez field goal. Florida fumbled on both of its first 2 possessions. The first fumble resulted in the Suarez field goal. The second did not cost them any points, but it happened at the 20-yard line of LSU.
Let's see if we can see 13 is Washington. I don't know. Maybe when he tried to make the tackle, it's his right hand. Looks like it was underneath him, and he's an outstanding outside linebacker. This will really be a big loss for the Bengals as Curly Hallman looks on, obviously concerned.
Leading tackler on the LSU team, 37 stops coming into this game. He had 10 tackles, including 2 tackles behind the line last year against Florida. So we've seen a lot of that young man, and he's a fine player.
Yeah, I remember his outstanding performance last year, and it looks like he might be out for this ball game. We'll see.
Big 3rd down play for the Gators at the LSU 40-yard line. Willie Jackson stepped out of bounds at the 35. You'd like to get more out of it, but the official on the play spots him out of bounds just inside the 35, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gators.
Well, there's a little bit of fun in that gun right now as Shane Matthews is moving this Gator offense.
Gator offense has been shooting too many blanks the last couple of weekends. They're trying to get on the board here in the first period. This will be the final play of the quarter. Matthews getting all kinds of heat, just throws the ball away.
And wisely so.
Corey White put the pressure on. And that'll bring up second down and 10. It is the first, the final play of the first quarter from Florida Field. So after one in Gainesville, our score, the LSU Tigers 3, the Florida Gators nothing. Sports Channel's coverage of Florida Gator football is brought to you in part by Mr. Goodwrench, your GM service expert. By the Florida Beef Council, beef, it's what's for dinner. And by the University of Florida Shan Sports Medicine Center. Second quarter of action from Florida Field in Gainesville on an overcast afternoon. LSU leads Florida 3-0. The Gators are second and 10 at the Tiger 34-yard line. Matthews again gets rid of the football. He had a tight end, Greg Keller out there to the left, but had to dump it too soon. LSU brought 5 or 6 on a rush.
Yeah, they brought 6, and I think Keller was the checkoff man right there. He was supposed to read the blitz at the same time Matthews did, but he didn't, and they weren't able to connect up on their timing right there, and that was a wasted play.
Tony Davis is in the backfield for Eric Rett, the tailback spot, a freshman out of Chipley, and Chris Bilkey is now the fullback.
First time the fullback, I think, has been on the field this afternoon.
It's 3rd and 10. Matthews sails it up into the air for Everett and overthrows him with pretty good coverage by Carlton Buckles. That'll bring up 4th down. Again, Matthews is unable to see the tail end of that play because he's on his back.
Buckles doing a nice job getting in the hip pocket of the wide receiver. Here comes Shane Edge trying to maybe go for the corner and get inside that 10-yard line.
The return man is Buckles. Chances are he won't come into play on this Florida kick. If Edge does his job properly. High driving spiral going to be well into the end zone. And that's not what the sophomore punter had in mind. LSU will bring it out to the 20, a 34-yard kick. But the Tigers get the football at their 20-yard line, leading 3-0 early in the second quarter. Remember Donald Douglas?
Yeah, he was a young Gator quarterback. Led this team to the Holiday Bowl, I think, against the Washington Cougars, and then he transferred on to Houston.
3-0, LSU in the lead with 14 minutes, 44 seconds to play in the first half. Florida's offense again this afternoon has not been able to develop any consistency, no continuity. LSU was 1-4, but they almost came from behind with a big fourth quarter rally against Auburn before falling 30-28.
They lost at home to Colorado State, though. I know
that one hurt.
Trivia question for you. Who was the head coach at Colorado State now?
Got me.
Earl Bruce from Ohio State.
Bruce. Robert Davis draws a swarm of Florida defenders, and down he goes at the 20-yard line.
I mean, unless I'd read that before the game, I wouldn't have known it either. But Earl Bruce from Ohio State winds up at Colorado State.
This tackle made by freshman Dexter Daniels out of Valdosta, Georgia. One of the top high school football players in the country last year, if not the #1 player in high school ball at Valdosta. An exciting young player for the Gators. 2nd and 9. Howard one-hops it to Beckham.
Pressure from Kevin Carter and Henry McMillan, the two guys on the end of that defensive front, putting the pressure on the young quarterback Howard, and Gator defense is hanging in there, doing a nice job They're bending somewhat, but certainly have a chance to keep LSU backed up right now.
Third down for LSU from their 21. The freshman, Jamie Howard. And a wide open receiver. Scott Ray makes the catch. Hatch drops him, but a first down for the Tigers at the 36-yard line.
Gator zone giving up just a little bit too much ground in their coverage here. The protection is wonderful up front, and Howard has a chance to step forward and zip that ball in there before the secondary can converge on the pass.
LSU converts a big third down. Now they're 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Davis, the ball carrier, wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by Kevin Carter, squirted out of his grasp for a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and about 9, we'll call it.
I tell you, one guy I think has played so consistently is Kevin Carter. Every ball game he's made some excellent plays, and he just sheds the block here to the outside, takes the inside, and makes the hit in the backfield.
Davis's knee went down right at the 36, so it's 2nd and 10.
There's the young man out of Tallahassee and pre-pharmacy. Boy, you know, there's a lot of chemistry in his hourly loads.
Better him than me there. Davis with the call again, a couple of yards. And again, Kevin Carter is there to make the tackle.
Yeah, there was enough chemistry and physical science for me. After I got past that in the University College, I never wanted to see any more chemistry. But Kevin Carter, that's his major. You know, a number of these kids major in microbiology and things like that.
Robert Davis only 15 yards and 9 carries. The Gators have done a good job of bottling up the LSU ground attack. Now it is 3rd down again. LSU converted a 3rd and 8 a moment ago. And a pass is caught by Jacobs, but he was out of bounds. Thanks to some fine play by Lawrence Hatch. That'll bring up 4th down and 7.
And there was excellent pressure from Monty Groh. Look to the right of your screen. There's Monty Groh. He gets inside a little bit too much. He's got to be more careful right there. Can't let a quarterback get outside like that. And he was airborne out of bounds before he made the catch. If you're airborne inbounds and you get pushed out, they'll give you that catch. But he was leaping out of bounds already.
Brian DeSalles back to punt for the 2nd time. Willie Jackson, the deep man. The Gators got a good rush on. Jackson has no place to go, and Florida will have the ball at their own 22-yard line. 12:05 to play in the first half. LSU still leads Florida 3-0. We'll be back. Florida's offense in possession of the football at its own 21. 1st and 10, the Gators. Eric Rett only 15 yards before that carry, and only a couple of more to add on top of it. Nowhere to go on the left side of the line.
George Rushing in at tight end right now, and Rushing's a big kid at 236 pounds, but still no movement at the line of scrimmage, allowing that running game to have success.
Second and 7. Matthews intends the pass for Everett, but it is incomplete, out of bounds.
George Rushing, the tight end, that time was on the right side of the formation, stayed in to help Jason Odom, the right tackle, on the block, allowing Matthews to skate outside and look downfield a little bit longer, but no one's open.
Florida tries to convert a 3rd down in their own territory at their 24. Good protection from Matthews. Keller, the tight end, is the intended receiver, but the pass is thrown into the LSU bench. Shane is now 0 for his last 5, and it is a 4th and 7 for the Gators.
Matthews with a 7-step drop, trying to get the receivers deep down the field, but chooses to go out along the sideline, and ball's overthrown, and Shane Edge is back on the field.
Shane Edge set to punt the ball. Hits it off the side of his foot a little bit. Buckles waits for it, and the ball takes a big Gator bounce. Now Buckles from his 25-yard line. And the ball popped loose. And the Gators have recovered at the 34-yard line of LSU. Lex Smith was in pursuit from the backside. We'll see who shook it loose and who got it.
There's Lex Smith, 54, getting outrun. Myrick Anderson. It's Myrick Anderson and Dale Spear on the double whammy, knocking the ball loose, and the Gators have finally had one of those turnovers they've been looking for. They were -7 in turnover ratio coming into today's ball game. Last year at this time they were +3, and that's been a big element of the field position battle all season long that the Gators have been fighting. This time the turnover gives them great field position.
Jackson is wide open at the 10, and he drops the football. Matthews had 2 receivers he could have gone to in the end zone, or toward the end zone. Trey Everett was actually even more open than Willie Jackson around the goal line. Jackson, standing at about the 15 or the 10, was all by himself. The flea flicker from Matthews to Rhett back to Matthews really set it up, and then they couldn't finish it off.
Oh, it was set up beautifully, and Willie Jackson is so wide open. He's thinking about walking into the end zone right here, and it just bounces off his hip. Instead of catching it in his hands, he tried to receive it into his body, and it bounced right off his hip. And you'll not see that very often from Willie Jackson.
Gators go deep again for Everett, and this one is overthrown.
Everett had the bump and inside position on Buckles, number 8, the cornerback, but the ball again floated outside. Matthews expecting him perhaps to get outside position on Buckles. He was inside instead. Here's the protection. That's good protection. He just got a little slap in the head right there. The ball was thrown deep. Again, the Gators trying to go deep on this possession.
LSU coming with a blitz. Matthews gets rid of it, throws it up for grabs, and Hill might have gotten under it. That is a great catch, and he did make it. What a play by Aubrey Hill. Matthews laying almost flat on his back when he underhanded the ball up into the air.
And what a play by Shane Matthews as well, David. He knew that there was no one underneath Hill, so he could lay it up like that, put a lot of air under that football, and hope Hill could recover in time to come back and get it, and that's exactly what happened.
That's a big play for the Florida offense, which should have scored 6 a moment ago on a drop pass. Now they're at least 1st and 10 at the LSU 20. Red cuts it back up to the inside and gets 5. 2nd and 5. Nice block thrown by freshman Jason Odom.
I tell you what, you'll take 5 yards on 1st down running the football anytime, any place, anywhere, and that's the kind of running game the Gators have to continue to have success and get the ball in the end zone. The kind of success they've had previously the last 2 seasons as Coach Steve Spurrier brought that fun and gun offense to Gainesville.
Brett again. Bouncing inside the 15 to the 12-yard line of LSU. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Anthony Williams, inside linebacker, stopping Rhett there. Got 23 yards this afternoon.
Rhett has been slowed by a sprained ankle he suffered at Tennessee. He was not 100% last week and probably still not 100% this afternoon. He's got a brace around that ankle. give it some support. 3rd down and 3. Lots of time. Jack Jackson is open, and then you could see it coming. Adams drilled it.
Oh, excuse me for screaming, but I did see it coming through.
Give Jackson credit. He held on to the football.
Hey, give him a medal. Just for getting back up, not only holding on to the football, what a hit. And he did not see it. We did, and it scared us. Jack Jackson dragging across the field, and
that's one for the highlight reel.
Ray Adams.
Jackson held on. It's 1st and goal inside the 10. Willie Jackson now wide to the right. LSU on a blitz. Ball up for grabs. Keller's got it. The Louisiana native scores his first Gator touchdown.
They got matched up with inside linebacker David Walkup, and Walkup did not have the speed or agility to stay with Keller. Matthews, I think, knew that immediately, and there's a new school record, 57 career touchdowns, breaking Kerwin Bell's touchdown pass record for a career.
And that has to be a happy young man there. Number 89, Greg Keller, out of New Orleans, Louisiana, gets his first touchdown for the Gators against the LSU Tigers. The extra point by Bart Edmiston is good, and the Gators have their first lead of the afternoon. With 8:33 to play in the first half. As we take another look, the Gators lead LSU now 7-3. Welcome back to Florida Field, where the Gators have just taken the lead, 7-3 over the LSU Tigers. The Miami Heat prepare for their 1992-93 season as they face rookie Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic Friday, October 16th, 7:30 p.m. at the Miami Arena. Don't miss exciting preseason action here on Sports Channel. Check local listings for availability in your area.
Shaquille O'Neal out of LSU.
That is correct, sir. McGee fumbles the ball at the goal line. Here he comes out of there. Well, why is it that so often you'll see a big return off of a fumble?
I was just thinking the same thing. I think the coverage team relaxes, or they're frozen for a moment, watching the action themselves, and they get out of their lanes or something. But LSU did pick up excellent field position.
Looks like Shane Matthews is nursing a thumb injury, getting a little attention on the sideline. LSU from its own 24. Boy, this kid has a strong arm. Hatch almost had the interception. Ball right through his hands, intended for Wesley Jacob. Let's take a look at the scoring drive. 7 plays, 35 yards. Matthews to Keller on the tail end of it. Edmiston with the extra point. The Gators lead 7-3. Keller's first touchdown and a 57th career touchdown pass by Matthews.
Oh, that'll scare Jamie Howard a little bit, having thrown that ball directly to Lawrence Hatch. He was
This is freshman Jay Johnson. Johnson is welcomed to Florida Field on his first carry of the day by Will White. That'll bring up 3rd and 7.
There you see Carlton Miles with the initial hit, and then Will White, and oh, look at the blow right there by Dexter Daniels, the outstanding freshman.
LSU 3rd and 7. Howard, a wide open receiver. Jacobs, and Groh wrestles him to the ground at the 48-yard line.
Well, that's a real mismatch there. The outstanding receiver, Wesley Jacob, finds himself matched up with the Gator back, Monty Groh, who doesn't have the speed of foot that Jacob does, and that was just an excellent situation for LSU to take advantage of right there. It was good coverage, but they pick up a big first down and excellent yardage.
Tigers have been quite good on third down conversions and one fourth down conversion. There was a miscommunication between Howard, the freshman, and Jacob, the senior, who's going to go back to the huddle and probably give a little lesson to the freshman quarterback. I think the quarterback might have been an error there. Second down and 10.
Monty Grove that time had the inside on the hitch. Larry Kennedy had the receiver deep. Really, there was little room for error there, and Howard's kind of lucky threw that one away, or at least threw it high and away.
LSU has not had much success running the ball. They'll try to throw again. Howard probably should have kept it a time or two before. This time he does hold on to it and pick up good yardage.
The Gator defense just cannot allow the quarterback to get outside like that. It was Bill Gunner that got caught inside, and then Carlton Miles did the same thing. Both of them got caught inside, and once Howard got out, he was able to pick up 8 or 9 yards.
Another third down conversion opportunity for LSU. This one only 3rd and 1. And now timeout has been called for by the Tigers. 6:36 to play. Second quarter. Florida 7, LSU 3. Florida leads LSU only 7-3, and we're late in the first half. Gators trying to snap a 2-game losing streak here at Florida Field. Join Sports Channel for an encore presentation of Game 3 of the first round of the 1992 NBA playoffs, Tuesday, October 20th, 8 p.m. You'll recapture the excitement when the Heat battled Michael Jordan and the Bulls at the Miami Arena. That is on Sports Channel. Third down play, and it looked like Robert Toomer, a freshman fullback, got the necessary turf.
Robert Toomer, the all-time career rushing leader in the state of Georgia, breaking Herschel Walker's records. And
he's got a national record, I think, for carries. He carried the ball 1,222 times in high school.
Whoa.
Scored 105 touchdowns.
I hope he had an oxygen tank on the sideline. Anyway, Mr. Alabama and Mr. Georgia in terms of football, and they both go to LSU.
Sylvester, Georgia is a Bulldog hotbed, too. First down for the Tigers at the 41-yard line. Howard's got Beckham open. Beckham eludes Groh and then gets past a couple of other defenders. He fumbled the football, and then the Gators kicked it out of bounds.
So LSU will maintain possession, but what a beautiful effort there on the run. Beckham, as we mentioned, the senior, the veteran of this running back group, which has 3 freshmen in it. He was a tailback last year. Looks a lot like Eric Rett, doesn't he, in the open field? And look at him get loose here. And then he drops the ball after the effort, but because the Gators did not get possession of it before it went out of bounds, there was no turnover.
Ron Zook can't be real happy with the tackling on that play. Now it's first down for the Tigers. Howard rifles it. Ray grabs it. And the Gators' Marquette Oliver makes the tackle, but a gain of about 5. Inside the 15 comes LSU.
Marquette Oliver in to replace Monty Groh at that Gator back or strong safety position. That time he got caught playing a little too soft as the break was made to the sideline. And LSU picks up excellent yardage on first down.
The LSU Tigers threaten to take the lead late in the first half. Beckham running up in the inside. Gunner wrapped him up near the 12. That'll bring up 3rd and 2 or 3.
Mark Campbell stuffing the play as well inside at defensive tackle. There's Ron Zook trying to find an answer to keeping LSU off the scoreboard on this drive. LSU obviously in great position for a field goal attempt, but they want a touchdown, and here comes a big third down.
Toomer to the 10. He needed to get to the 9, and I don't think he got there.
I don't think he did either. They had 2 tight ends and a wing back. The motion man turned into a wing back in that short yardage formation, and they're a good yard short.
And they don't have any signs of sending in the field goal team either.
Now they got 3 tight ends in the game.
LSU will go for it on 4th and 1 at the Florida 10-yard line. The Gators stack up 8 players on the line. Howard throwing it for the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. Chris Hill, a tight end, with the touchdown.
That was the 3rd tight end that we mentioned they brought into the game for that formation. He lined up as a wingback, went in motion, reversed himself back in the other direction. They think it's going to be a power sweep or a power off-tackle run, and the tight end sneaks behind Will White, and Hill comes up with a huge touchdown catch for LSU.
LSU with a gutsy 4th down call. They could have kicked a field goal and tied the game at, or cut the lead to 7-6, I should say. Instead, they decide to go for the touchdown, as it turns out.
Well, when you're 1-4, the conservative route is not very attractive to you.
The extra point by Suarez is good, and LSU now leads 10-7 with 3:54 to play in the first half. So an impressive drive by the Tigers. That's the first touchdown catch. Chris Hill is a true freshman on the LSU football team. Well, college football action continues next Sunday, October 18th, 12:30 p.m. Auburn at Florida, right here from Florida Field in Gainesville. Then at 8 p.m., California at Southern Cal. And 11 p.m., Arizona against Bill Walsh's Stanford Cardinal. It's only on Sports Channel. Check local listings for availability in your area. Ten to 7, LSU. Tigers will kick it away, but first we'll visit with Steve Vavick.
Well, as the game progresses, you've noticed a lot of different guys, especially on the defensive line, getting action. Looking at the defensive ends, you've seen Bill Gunner, Kevin Carter, Johnny Church, Henry McMillan. It's not because of injuries, a lot of substitution. They're trying to make something happen, and a lot of guys have been going in. Let's go back up to Jim and David.
I think coaching staff is searching for the right combinations in a number of areas. More than anything else, Kennedy from the 5-yard line. And down he goes, driven down at about the 16-yard line by Mike Garrett. LSU scoring drive, 11 plays and 75 yards. Chewed up a good portion of the second period clock. Freshman Jamie Howard completed the touchdown pass to fellow freshman Chris Hill.
They probably have more true freshmen playing than the Florida Gators do, and the Gators have, what, about 10 true freshmen seeing action. I think LSU has around 13 that have seen action this year.
Here's the draw play to Kedra Malone. Malone pops outside and gets the first down to the 29-yard line. That's the best run from scrimmage, except for the fake punt, the unintentional fake punt.
And I think it's the first run from scrimmage this year for Kedra Malone, who's been nursing an injury early this season. I think for the first time in the 92 season, the young man is healthy, and we see the results right there.
Yeah, an arthroscopic surgery on his knee just before the season began. Sophomore from Niceville. Play action and the pass, and the man open, Everett, and Everett is out of bounds to stop the clock and get the first down at the LSU 47-yard line.
Trey Everett starting this afternoon instead of Harrison Houston, and the senior member of this wide receiver corps does an excellent job of running the deep corner. And the Gators once again are in LSU territory after two excellent offensive plays. One the run and then the pass. Malone
just goes down. Looked like they were trying to set up the reverse back to Everett, but Malone saw a disaster coming and just fell on the football.
And that was a very wise decision, because disaster is the word. If he had tried to pitch it or hand it off, LSU was in position to destroy that play or the exchange and maybe come up with a turnover. So Kedra's healthy and wise as well.
That's a loss of 6, 2nd and 16. Matthews throws it low. Did Malone get down under it? I suppose he did. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. Gilliard on the coverage.
Matthews just
not real patient.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem to be sharp like he has been so often in the past.
He's taken a beating the last couple of weeks.
And he's self-inflicted a few wounds as well.
Penalty flags down. Malone is open again. Kedra battles for the first down to the 35-yard line. A good effort by Kedra Malone. Buckles made the stop for LSU.
For a little back, he has a lot of strength, doesn't he? Let's see. Perhaps the penalty will be an offsides, but who is it against?
Offsides. Defense. Decline.
Shane Matthews got shaken up again. Matthews is coming out of the game. He's pointing at his ribs, it looks like.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's a late blitz, not a late hit. That's a delay. It's an intentional delay by Vincent Fuller, who was the starting tailback in this on this LSU team last year.
Terry Dean now operating the Gator offense, and Dean picks up 3. Bo Davis, senior nose tackle, on the play. Terry Dean has played sparingly.
And it's going to be a brief appearance this afternoon as Matthews comes back after one play.
Second and 6, 1:15 on the clock. The Gators still have all 3 timeouts remaining. The blitz is on. Matthews throws to an open spot on the field.
Oh my goodness. And the nearest receiver to the ball was a defensive back, Ivory Hilliard, number 3, who I believe is Dalton's
nephew.
Dalton Hilliard, of course, one of the greatest players in SEC history, certainly in LSU history. His nephew playing defensive back.
Florida, with 1:01 left in the quarter, needs to pick up this first down to even give itself a shot at a field goal. Matthews has time. Jack Jackson cannot bring it in. Excellent coverage by Carlton Buckles.
Buckles doing a beautiful job this afternoon in that secondary, and that time he was in the pocket of Jack Jackson. There's the protection. There's a zip on that football. Everything is fine, except the coverage is even better.
Now it is 4th down, and the Gators are going to try and keep this opportunity alive with 55 seconds left in the quarter.
Well, the last time they were down here, they let Shane Edge punt, and they didn't get much out of that, so they're going to go for it.
LSU on the blitz again. Matthews has Jackson. Touchdown.
That time Buckles was beaten by Jackson. Buckles had knocked the ball away on the prior play. This time Jackson takes the inside, gets the step, and Matthews lays it out for the big touchdown.
The Gators take the lead on a 31-yard pass play from Shane Matthews to freshman Jack Jackson. The extra point by Edmiston is good. Florida regains the lead, 14-10. And there you see the time on the clock in the second quarter. An impressive Gator drive Matthews knew the blitz was coming. He knew that if he could put the ball anywhere near Jackson, it was 6 points.
And he also knew, David, there was no one inside. If he could just lay it up and let Jackson run away from Buckles, and you see him find another gear right there and get the 2 steps he needs to beat Buckles in, the perfect pass and leaping catch. He straightens him out, then takes the inside, and he's got the step right now. He turns it into 2 steps, and then the leaping catch for the touchdown.
First career touchdown reception for Jack Jackson, and the first of what I think we can safely say will be many. Redshirt freshman from Moss Point, Mississippi.
You got to have your receivers come up with great catches and great efforts, and that was both from Jack Jackson.
Florida's often maligned offensive line, too, should get some credit there for holding off the LSU blitz. Only 48 seconds left in the first half. It's been an exciting football game. 14-10 Florida. Ryan Ruland kicks it away. This is Pegues from the 1. Lex Smith brings him down at the 22-yard line. 44 seconds left in the half.
Lex Smith doing a beautiful job this afternoon on punt coverage and kickoff coverage.
Gators went 83 yards on 9 plays and only used 3 minutes and 6 seconds to do it. They only had about 3:50 left in a half when they took control of the football.
That's got to give that Gator defense a lift, too, as they take the field right now.
Jamie Howard hands it off to Odell Beckham. Beckham is driven back across the 20. Did the Gators get a fumble?
They're discussing it.
So far, no sign from the officials. It is Florida football. Oh, a disaster for the LSU Tigers, and the Gators are sitting inside the 20 with 36 seconds left in the half.
Well, a very slow whistle works to the advantage of the Florida Gators as we see the pileup at the line of scrimmage. There's McMillan, and the whistle is not blown right now. He's moving forward. They ripped the ball away, and that was just a slow whistle. But
well, they've taken it back, Jim.
Are they? Would the official point the wrong way by mistake?
I don't know, but it looks like they've given LSU's offense the ball again, and now Florida wants timeout, probably as much as anything else to talk to the officials.
Well, Coach Spurrier's on the field asking for an explanation. I think the referee inadvertently pointed to the south end zone by mistake. See, he's saying he meant to point the other way. That's probably the best call. I think I was surprised the whistle had not blown at that point. They were ripping the ball loose.
Well, his feet were still churning, but it's a judgment call as to when you blow him dead.
Yeah, and he was going forward. He's working. That's probably the proper thing.
Well, LSU's going to keep it. Florida used one of its 3 timeouts. Maybe Steve Babick has some inside information on the play. Steve, what have you got?
Well, Jim and David, I was going to talk to you first of all about Shane Matthews. Shane Matthews has taken hit after hit. You talked about the great character he's shown. The first touchdown pass to Greg Keller, his right thumbnail was pulled back a bit, and he got hurt a little, but then it tapered up. There was some blood on his pants. I'm wondering, Jimmy Arbro, do you have any kind of special team like that recognizes guys that get blood and dirt all over their pants? I'm just checking with you on that.
Not from a thumbnail, no. You don't get any credit for that one. Maybe from the nose or the eye.
Or if the tip of the thumb falls off, maybe, huh, Jim? Artie Moore is the ball carrier.
Now, offensive linemen, I've seen fingers dislocated, and they just come out, pull it straight, and send them back in, put a little tape on it, and say, go get them. We'll soak it tomorrow. But the quarterback, obviously, he's got to handle the football. Shane Matthews hurt his thumbnail, but we've seen quarterbacks break hands on the helmet of the opponent as they release the football, so we'll take a fingernail bent backwards rather than a broken hand anytime.
We have another timeout. I think Florida has used another of its timeouts, hoping to get the ball back. 29 seconds left. The Gators offense stopped itself early in the game on a pair of fumbles. They only had, I think, one series where they were totally ineffective in moving the ball. They've been able to get significant yardage against this LSU defense. You're looking at University of Florida Athletic Director Jeremy Foley right down there in the trenches. It's Jeremy with the only guy with the tie on, I guess, would be the best way to identify him.
The first year you've seen Jeremy in a tie. He's usually got one of those event staff shirts on, but now that he's the big man, he's got the tie on.
Big timer now. 3rd down and 8. Howard sails it up. Jacob brings it down, and it is a catch. At the 49-yard line, Wesley Jacob.
Lawrence Hatch trying to get over before the ball gets to Jacob, but Jacob doing a beautiful job of concentrating on the catch, not worrying about the hit. And here comes another violation.
Had a penalty
Dead
flag
ball,
down.
personal foul, defense.
Oh, my. Dead ball, personal foul, 15 yards tacked on to the end of the play. And LSU is almost in field goal range with 22 seconds left.
Well, weren't you talking a moment ago about Florida stopping the clock with the hopes of getting some points? And look what's happened here. A big catch and a huge penalty, and LSU is inside the Gator 35.
Steve Spurrier ripped off that visor and slam dunked it to the turf when that flag went down. Howard with protection. Ray is alone at the 10. Ray steps out of bounds at the 6. 14 seconds left.
Coach Jerry Anderson on the field trying to get his defensive front to put some pressure on Howard. Again, they found some space in that soft zone back there. Will White was underneath. Del Spear was deep. And Ray was in between both of them.
And LSU calls timeout. The Tigers started this drive back around their own 20-yard line. It looked like they were about to fizzle out. But on 3rd and 8, the freshman Jamie Howard rifled the ball up the field to Wesley Jacob, made a catch just across the 50-yard line and stepped out of bounds. Then a penalty flag came down back in the backfield. 15 more yards tacked on, and now the Tigers, one play later, are at the Florida 6. Catch Florida and Florida State against some of the nation's best in this year's Florida Sunshine Basketball Challenge in Orlando. The Florida Gators, along with the Florida State Seminoles, will co-host this annual Holiday Classic, featuring 1992 NCAA tournament teams UNC Charlotte and the Temple Owls. It's guaranteed to be action-packed, so don't miss the inaugural Florida Sunshine Basketball Challenge. That's December 19th and the 20th at the Orlando Arena.
Well, speaking of challenges, this Gator defense is going to be challenged here as LSU starts with a first down on the 6-yard line.
Ray's pass is caught by Beckham, only a yard pickup. And the clock stopped at 7, and they have one timeout left, and they'll use it here. They've got time to take one quick shot at the end zone and then kick the field goal.
Beckham with excellent hands. We talked about Beckham being the senior member of that backfield. He has excellent hands coming out of the backfield.
They're going to bring the field goal team on now, or now they've maybe have changed their mind, Jim.
I think 7 seconds. They got plenty of time for one more shot.
I think they can take a crack as long as they throw it to the end zone, but they're not going to take a chance.
Well, we think.
You know, like you said earlier, a 1-4 team has got little to lose. They could try just about anything here. Look out for the fake. Pedro Suarez, if they go through with it, will attempt a chip shot. 22-yard kick from the right hash mark. 7 seconds left in the quarter. They do kick it, and the kick is good. And that cuts Florida's lead to 14-13 with 3 seconds left in the quarter.
Now that's a real surprise. I would have thought with 7 seconds they'd give it a shot, but they took the 3 instead.
A 15-yard personal foul, the 3rd personal foul penalty called against the Gators in this game. Really hurts.
I never saw the violation. Did you?
The flag was back in the area of the quarterback. It might have been a late hit.
That certainly hurt, and the Gators are fortunate that LSU only came out with 3, as they were certainly in position to get a touchdown.
That Gator visor's taken a beating here in the first half.
Now, when you're 1-2 and have a 1-point lead at your home stadium at halftime, I can understand Coach Spurrier's frustration.
Florida fans come from all over the Sunshine State on Saturdays. Ritual in the fall. Bring their campers and their vans and tailgate all of the morning. Great tradition, University of Florida football in the Sunshine State. Pedro Suarez kicks it away. Ground ball up the middle. And that will be the final play of the first half. Darrell Frazier brings it out near the 30. And that's it. We've played 2 quarters from Florida Field, and our halftime score, the Gators 14, the LSU Tigers 13. We'll be right back. First half, 15 for 25. 170 yards, and he did throw a couple of touchdowns and no interceptions.
No interceptions. Right.
Those numbers should have been reversed. Steve Spurrier checking the wind. Which way the wind's blowing here at the first part of the second half. Let's check back with Steve Babick before the second half begins for an injury update. Steve, what have you got?
Well, it seems like every time I talk about an injury, it has to do with the defensive line. And in the case of Ellis Johnson, he's done for the rest of the half. That sprained neck that he suffered late at the game in Starkville against Mississippi State was cropped up again. And he came out a couple times early in the game, and I think that's what was bothering him. They went in at halftime, looked at him, and Dr. Peter Delicato said sprained neck, he's done for the rest of the game. So that already not too deep defensive line, 1 man short.
That is not good news for the Gators, already so very thin in that area of the team. You're looking at Darrell Frazier, who stands deep along with Larry Kennedy. Suarez kicks it away, and this is Kennedy from the 10-yard line. Kennedy tried to cut to the outside and stumbles across the 30, and a penalty flag goes down late on the play.
Could have been a face mask.
The Gators have been hit with 3 costly personal fouls. This one's going to go against LSU.
For a kicking team, 5-yard penalty, be first down.
A 5-yarder.
Unintentional grasp of the mask.
Boy, you love to start, though, outside your 35-yard line. That's great field position for this Gator offense on their first opportunity of the third quarter.
Ball is at the 37. Harrison Houston is in the game, along with Jack Jackson and Willie Jackson. 3 wideouts, 1 back behind Matthews. Quick hitter to Jackson, and again the freshman holds onto the ball as McCorvey is there to deliver the hit after a 3-yard gain.
Harrison Houston saw little action in the first half. Trey Everett, the senior, was primarily on the field. A double hitch that time, but it looked like Houston was a bit confused on his route, but Matthews was able to get the ball to, was it Jack Jackson?
Jack Jackson
for the completion.
And it's 2nd and 7. Matthews play action, great protection. Now hits Rhett. And Rhett with that great strength and balance gets the first down. McCorvey for LSU, but the Gators are 1st and 10 at their 48-yard line.
After Walkup, David Walkup, number 85, the inside linebacker, hit Rhett. Rhett with the extra effort. Watch him spin away after the initial hit. Matthews is going to dump the ball off to him. There's McCorvey. He spins away from McCorvey inside to pick up the first down.
Tight end Keller. 5 yards, 2nd and 5 coming up. Buckles on the stop. Early in the third quarter, Florida leads LSU 14-13. The Jacksons, Willie and Jack, are split wide right and left. Harrison Houston is in the slot on 2nd and 5. Eric Rett gets 3 more. It'll be 3rd and 2. Steve Babick on the sideline. Steve?
Possibly during the week you've heard the medical staff talk about what Eric Rett's been using. This ankle boot that Eric's been using, made out of plastic, obviously more support than tape and some other kind of wrappings. It has helped him. Obviously there is some restriction to it, but it's been the best thing so far they've found for Eric Rett. And as you can tell, he's still in the game trying to be productive.
Looks like a ski boot.
Can you imagine trying to cut?
No, I can't.
With that thing on? Might have had some effect on his mobility. Here's 3rd down and 2. Matthews looking to get something out of it and throws it away.
Oh, a wasted opportunity perhaps. 3rd and 3, and you would think, yes, the Gators are going to punt the ball away as Shane tries to explain to Coach Spurrier what his thought process was on that play.
Matthews threw the pass, but he had already stepped out of bounds. So even if it had been completed for a 1st down, it wouldn't have counted. Shane Edge stands back at his 37. Carlton Buckles waits at the LSU 10. Edge drives it deep. This one's going to go through the end zone.
He's not tried for the corner at all. He's simply boomed it away, trying to get some height on it, but they'll bring it out to the 20.
LSU's first possession of the 2nd half. 47-yard kick by Edge. We'll be back. Point lead. Early in the 3rd quarter, Jamie Howard, the true freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana, been very impressive today. He won the starting job his performance against Auburn. He rallied the Tigers in the 4th period to a near come-from-behind win, and he's been the main man ever since.
Actually, coming into the 92 season, Chad Luke, a returning quarterback, a junior, was expected to win the job, but they wind up playing the true freshman, Jamie Howard.
Jesse Daigle has started a game or 2 for LSU. But Howard is the main man this afternoon. 1st and 10 Tigers. Hand off to Davis. The Tigers try to establish a running game, and the Gators have nothing to do with it. Carter and Groh stuff the play at the line of scrimmage.
LSU was held to, I think, 167 yards of total offense against Tennessee last week in Baton Rouge.
They've already surpassed that this afternoon, that total yardage number.
Mostly by passing the football.
Right. 2nd and 10. Davis had 134 yards against Texas A&M. He's having trouble finding daylight here against the Gators. He ran into Mark Campbell, 67.
Yeah, that's what he found, that big number 67, after Kevin Carter had penetrated again. Yeah, when a young tailback comes to a school to run the football, he hopes to have more than 13 yards at halftime, especially when he's carried it close to a dozen times. But that Gator defense is really shutting down the run.
Third down, 7. Howard finds a man open. Did he catch it? Did it one hop? I think it one hopped into the hands of Scott Ray. And he was open.
Jamie Howard was open too. I'm very surprised that he didn't continue to run that football. He obviously doesn't have a lot of faith in his legs. He's got a chance to really move up the field here, but he also had a chance to come up with a 20-yard gain possibly, but just skipped it to Ray, the wide receiver.
Very close play. Brian DeSells, who will punt it away to Willie Jackson. He shanked it, but the ball apparently stayed in bounds right down the sideline. It walked the rope, and he got a break.
He sure did. Mishit that one completely, and he winds up with a 40-yard kick and no return. You'll take that all day long, but not the way it looked. But look where the Gators again, David, are starting.
Same spot as the first possession, right. 37-yard line.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Big crowd again at Florida Field. Slow arriving. It looked 15, 20 minutes before kickoff like it wasn't going to fill up, but it did. Matthews, good protection, but again can't find an open man. He fumbled the ball and fell on it at the 25, a loss of 12.
Big John Mawai. The protection is there initially. No one's open downfield. He has to move out a little bit and simply drops the football, but fortunately gets back on it, and there's a second down effort coming up for the Gators.
Gators are 2nd and 22. The outside rush coming. And Bilkey drops the ball at the 29. Pressure came from the outside from Ravel Rose Swan.
Yeah, the outside linebacker with his speed was able to get outside of Jason Odom, the tackle, and come around the blocking attempt, outrun the tackle, and get in on Shane Matthews.
Houston and Jackson, the wideouts. Bilkey is the fullback. Rhett in the eye. Matthews coming up out of pressure, hangs on to the football, but that's about all. And the Gators are 4th and 24.
Clayton Mouton, number 59, with the pressure. Just a breakdown up front. Left tackle Reggie Green gets beat to the outside, and Matthews has to step up, and Mouton is right there with his penetration.
Edge to punt again. The Gators are winning the game 14-13, but LSU seems to be a little bit more with momentum on their side right now. Great kick by Edge. Buckles, look out, he bobbled it. And here he comes to the 50, and the last man it could have possibly got him dead for the Gators. Matt Pearson may have saved a touchdown.
He absolutely saved the touchdown. Pearson from Mayo, the home of Kerwin Bell. Matt Pearson does a super job. It's a touchdown saving tackle.
Well, there you go again, another bobbled punt kick and a big return, 36-yard return for Buckles. Now LSU threatens to take the lead in Florida territory at the Gator 41. They tried to run the ball in their first possession. Now they go to the air quickly, and Ray makes the catch at the 34-yard line.
Rich McGeorge, the offensive line coach, trying to stir his troops up, trying to get them to take a stand and protect their outstanding quarterback. McGeorge was an outstanding player with the Green Bay Packers for a number of years before he got into coaching.
Tigers try to run the ball again, and there is just nothing doing for Robert Davis. That'll be a loss of a yard as Kevin Carter, who is having a fabulous football game, was there to make the stop again.
Kevin Carter at the top of your screen hustles down the line of scrimmage. The back looking for the cutback opportunity, and Robert Davis finds none. He finds Kevin Carter instead.
3rd and 5. Howard to throw with the blitz on, and he just got rid of the ball. Either that or Jacob went the wrong way. Ben Hanks was all over the quarterback, deep in the backfield.
No, I think you're right. He just simply got rid of the football. He did not have the luxury of waiting for the route to develop. There you see Hanks, the bandit back. hitting Howard in the back. Oh, that's smart. Look at Jamie Howard's trying to say, what number was that?
Excellent stand by the Gator defense after LSU took the ball at the Florida 41-yard line. They kick it away 4 plays later. This has got a chance to be down inside the 10. Great kick by DeSalles, and somebody got a helmet on it, bounced it into the end zone.
Yeah, it was number 44. Kamoja Brooks.
So the Gators get the ball at the 20, and what a break for Florida there. Rather than the 1 or 2, they'll have the ball with a little breathing room midway through the 3rd quarter. Gators 14, LSU 13 from Gainesville. 8:18 left in the 3rd period. Florida 1st and 10 from its 20. Hand off to Malone, and Malone bangs out 5 yards on 1st down. He was tackled by Deshotel, number 46.
That's encouraging, you know, to get 5 yards on the running effort on 1st down.
Malone has looked good at tailback when he's been in the game today. Malone gets the ball again, bounces to the outside, and squirts for the 1st down to the 31-yard line.
I'd say he's looked real good. That's another excellent effort.
Lee Williams made the stop. Malone trying to inject some enthusiasm into this Florida ground attack.
Was it Neil Anderson from Niceville?
Graceville.
Graceville.
Same area of the state there. Pedro Malone. 3 more to the 34-yard line. 2nd and 7.
Now look at him dance outside. You're talking about the quickness of foot. Eric Rhett is quick, but this kid is even quicker. Of course, Eric Rhett's the bigger back.
Backs in the eye. The play action gives Matthews some time, and Jack Jackson has the football at the 49-yard line. A 1st and 10 for the Gators.
Jack Jackson's a real sleeper in this wide receiver core, isn't he? He's outstanding and possibly under-publicized with Willie Jackson and Harrison Houston and Trey Everett in that receiver core.
Well, you can see Matthews getting a lot of confidence. He's beginning to look for number 1. And when that happens, he could catch a lot of balls in the 2nd half of the season. Eric Rhett's back in the game. He breaks the tackle. Running with reckless abandon to the 41-yard line. Vincent Fuller made the stop for the Tigers.
Reckless abandon and a bit of rest. A bit of rest along the sideline. Gets the adrenaline running. And we've talked about the injury. He's overcoming that difficult ankle injury.
Might not hurt that Kedra Malone looks pretty good out there, too.
Nothing like a little healthy competition, huh?
Second down and 1. Good play to go for Brokaw, but the pass to Keller is caught. Good grab by the tight end, and a 1st down for the Gators. At the LSU 37, Gilliard on the coverage.
A beautiful catch by Keller, the tight end, and makes the leaping grab, as you mentioned, out of Nolans. Having a great game against LSU, which I'm sure recruited him heavily. That's his best catch of the year, certainly.
Red got hit right at the line of scrimmage by 98 Nate Miller.
Miller was untouched. There was a breakdown somewhere along the line. Big Nate Miller, not hard to find at 6'4", 300 pounds, but somebody in fact missed him, and he found the tailback in a hurry.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Houston back in. Jackson, Willie. Wide receiver to the left side. Bilkey and Rhett, the running backs. LSU with a lot of folks coming, and Houston is alone. And I believe he got it. No touchdown, but the Gators are first and goal at the 1. He beat Gary Pegues out of Fort Walton Beach, Choctawhatchee High School. Number 11 for LSU was about 5 yards behind Houston. A 38-yard play.
I think this is almost the same route that Jack Jackson scored on Harrison Houston. This time, look at the arm over move he used on Pegues. Just ran right by him. They call that the Ole move. He ran right up to him and then was by him before Pegues knew what happened.
Matthews tried to sneak it in on first and goal and didn't get to the line.
Boy, nothing there at all. Here's Harrison Houston, who saw very little action for whatever reason in the first half. Trey Everett was the choice
Everett
in place of Houston.
Everett had outperformed him to win the starting job back. So Houston challenged.
Well, there's an example of competition.
Of course, both of those players have been injured back and forth. Houston comes out of the game, and now the Gators line up 2 tight ends, Rhett and Bilkey, behind Matthews. To give the ball to Rhett, over the top, and in for the touchdown. His second touchdown of the season, and his 16th of his career.
No doubt about that one as he goes airborne, twisting his body and diving into the end zone for a big touchdown here in the second half for the Florida Gators as they pad their 1-point lead and get a little bit more breathing room.
Edmiston's extra point makes it a 21-13 score with 3:41 to play in the third period. The Gators lead LSU by 8. Back at Florida Field, a look at Florida's touchdown run by Eric Rhett, only 1 yard out. Only the second touchdown run of the season for the Gators, and Rhett has both of them.
Grant Crouch, the offensive center, does a nice job at the point of attack, getting a little bit of movement on the nose guard, and Eric Rhett does the rest with the help of Chris Bilkey, his fullback, on the lead block.
Rhett got up in the air there, but it brought back memories of Neil Anderson. How he could hurdle over the top of the line, it was just amazing.
Yeah, what pleasant memories those were.
Pegues from the goal line. Spins free from one man, but Lex Smith, the former quarterback, outside linebacker out of Dade City, having a great game on the Florida special teams, makes the stop.
Oh, and is it an injured Gator on the field, David, as we look at Lex Smith leaving the field right there.
.335 left in the third period. They only score the second half so far. The Gators touchdown just moments ago. Florida leading 21-13. It looked like number 18, Lawrence Hatch. Is that who it is on the field?
I think so. A lot of violence on those kickoff coverage teams.
Did you ever play special teams in the NFL?
Well, I wasn't fast enough to cover any kicks, but I was in the wedge, and that's where those rockets come. They're launched right at you. A guy like Hatch, but obviously you got the size advantage, but they got the momentum.
So you're the guy that put a guy like Hatch down like this?
On rare occasions.
Chris Patrick, Pete and Delicano hovering over the
that's good. He's
Looks
up
like
and
he's
walking
right.
off.
80-yard drive, 10 plays, over 4.5 minutes. Rhett, second touchdown run of the year. Edmiston's extra point, 21-13 now the score.
That's the second drive over 80 yards in this ball game for the Gators, and that's got to give us a surge of hope and enthusiasm.
Freshman quarterback Jamie Howard still at the LSU controls. Howard, a short drop, Throws wildly, intended for Ray. 2nd and 10.
Monty Groh on the coverage inside and underneath. Larry Kennedy had the deep responsibility there.
Monty Groh out of Inverness. You may have read in the newspapers his efforts to gain his year of eligibility back, which he lost last season.
Yeah, we wish him well with that attempt.
Second down and 10. Pressure from both sides. Pass caught. That's Robert Toomer. Toomer fights near the first down marker, but down he goes at the 26. Looks like he'll be about a yard short of the first down. Spear made the tackle.
Oh, Will White had the hit, had the coverage, but was not able to wrap him up. There's the banded back Hanks on the blitz, and there's the missed tackle. And Big Toomer, we mentioned, the outstanding freshman out of Sylvester, Georgia, comes very close to picking up that first down. But we see the strength of that young running back right there.
Well, LSU in a fix here. They probably would rather be 3rd and 5 as much as 3rd and 1, because they have not been able to run the ball very effectively. And there's why. Look at that Florida defense swarming in the LSU backfield. A loss of a couple of yards. McMillan was the first man on the scene.
Henry McMillan, from his defensive end position, somehow is untouched and scrapes very closely around the perimeter. Look to the bottom of your screen, number 60. No, there was an attempted block there, but he simply shot the gap inside the tackle and destroyed the play in the backfield. There was an attempted block.
Dexter Daniels from his inside linebacker spot got back there about at the same time McMillan did. DeSalles back to punt. Willie Jackson, the deep man. This is a pretty good kick. Returnable for Willie. Oh, look out. Willie Jackson electrifies the Florida field crowd as he takes the ball to the 49-yard line of LSU. Buckles made the tackle.
38-yard punt and 17-yard return by touchdown Willie Jackson. We haven't seen Willie in the end zone that much this season, but
only once. Could have had one in the first half.
Does a beautiful job of finding a bit of an opening before Buckles knocks him down just inside LSU territory.
Florida's crowd really coming to life now late in the 3rd period. Rhett cracks through the LSU line and grinds out 6 yards on first down. Anthony Williams made the tackle.
What we've seen happen in the second half that didn't happen in the first half was that success on the first down running play. The first down running play, and there it's at least 5, perhaps 6. Kedra Malone really gave this offense a lift, and now Eric Rhett seems to have a lift as well.
Ball is at the LSU 43. The give to Rhett again. He lowers his head and grinds out 3 more. Anthony Williams again there to make the stop. The Gators will have 3rd and a long 2. Time ticking away in the 3rd quarter. Inside of a minute left in the period. It is 21-13 Florida. Gators will have Bilkey and Rhett in the eye. Willie Jackson and Harrison Houston wide to the left. They'll pitch it to the short side of the field. And Rhett gets the first down. Rhett gets more to the 30.
The arm tackles of LSU did not get it done on Eric Rhett as they pitched the ball to the tailback. Gilliard and Williams on the attempted tackle, but watch him break the arm tackles.
Got away from Swan.
And Poogies, also number 11, trying to make the tackle on the talented tailback.
11 yards on the carry. It is first down, and Rhett gets the call again. The crowd just erupted here as Rhett gets a yard, the final play of the third period, because they flashed on the scoreboard here at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium that Arkansas defeated Tennessee 25-24
at Arkansas. Joe Kynes, the new head coach at Arkansas, was the defensive coordinator here at Florida for a number of years, and we wish him well.
Good man, good coach. Congratulations to Joe Kynes in Arkansas. Well, that's the end of the third period. The Gators 21, the Tigers of LSU 13, and the Gators threaten as we go to the fourth period from Florida Field. Sports Channel's coverage of Florida Gator football is brought to you in part by your Florida Chevrolet and Geo dealers, value leader in its class. By Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue, barbecue at its best. And by Likes Hot Dogs. When it's likes, it's gone. The fourth quarter begins from Gainesville, and Shane Matthews with a penalty flag down. Goes down also inside the 15.
Did you see Jack Jackson come up and help Matthews? Jackson just threw his body at two LSU defenders. But once again, the flag is on the field. Let's see what that call's all about. But how about the courage of Jack Jackson, the smallish wide receiver?
Procedure, not enough backs against the offense. We'll take it back. 5 yards, second down.
Well, it all goes for naught because of the procedure call against the Gators.
Well, you could see Jack Jackson growing up, Jim, the last couple of weeks, getting a little more confidence. He played well last week at Mississippi State back in front of his home state fans. And he really begins to blossom here today.
Boy, this drive is so important for the Florida Gators as they lead LSU by 8. And critically important that they get some more points on the board, and they would hope a touchdown.
Gators dominating on the ground in the second half, at least compared to what happened in the first half. 46 yards in the third quarter. Trying to set up the screenplay to Tony Davis, and he is going nowhere. Clayton Mouton grabs him and throws him to the ground at the 36-yard line.
Really surprised that Shane Matthews went ahead with that play. He threw the ball rather blindly out there on the screen. The LSU defenders had it covered all the way, and sometimes you'll see an experienced quarterback look to an alternative receiver when the defense has diagnosed the screen pass attempt. But nonetheless, they went through at the play and suffered the loss.
Now it's 3rd and 17.
Yeah, one penalty and one bad play, and that's what happens to you.
Shotgun formation.
First time all year.
LSU a 4-man rush. Matthews going for Houston. Houston with the ball out of bounds. It's a catch at the 17-yard line. Fuller was trying to cover.
I like that shotgun because it gives the experienced quarterback a little bit more time to look downfield. And it's a shotgun with a sprint to it. He intended to sprint in that direction all the way. You see the crossing route, the inside. Actually, it was the outside receiver, Houston, who went inside and then back outside.
A huge third down conversion. They got a 3rd and 17, picked up the first down. Matthews, a naked bootleg to the right side. Pegues runs him out of bounds at the 13.
I don't think that was intended. It looked like he missed the handoff. Perhaps he just made a great fake, but I think he missed the handoff on that play. But it did work.
Picked up 4 yards on first down. Ball just right about the 13-yard line. 13 and a half minutes left in the game. Florida 21, LSU 13. The Gators go to the short side of the field again. A gaping hole for Rhett. 1st and goal. The Gators inside the 5. Anthony Williams saved a touchdown for LSU.
He certainly did. He was out there all by himself as that toss sweep to the tailback to the short side of the field. Look to the right side of the screen. Jimmy Watson, the guard, is pulling. There's the lead blocked by the fullback. The tight ends on that side of the field as well. A power sweep to the short side, and Rhett finds enough room to pick up the first down, almost scores.
Rhett again. Rhett near the 1. The Gators have mixed in some throws, but they've gone to a more power game here in the second half.
Only because it's worked. You know, they'll stay with it as long as it works, and they've been able to make the run work this afternoon, which they could not do in their losses at Tennessee and at Mississippi State. They just had to abandon the run because it simply didn't work. This afternoon, in the second half anyway, it's a different story.
Eric Rhett dives over the top again for the touchdown. It looked like an instant replay of his last touchdown in the third quarter. And it gives the Gators a 27-13 cushion. Edmiston's extra point makes it 28-13.
Let's look at the point of attack here. Reggie Green with a block. Gant Crouch with a block as well. Swain, the interior of that line, doing a beautiful job punching the ball into the end zone.
So the Gators had only one rushing touchdown on the season in 3 games coming into this ball game, and Rhett has scored 2 on the ground here this afternoon. The Gators kick off after their second touchdown of the second half. The ball squirts away from Jay Johnson and goes through the end zone. So that's a touchback, and LSU will have the ball at their 20-yard line. Scoring drive summary for the Gators as they go up by 15 points. A 48-yard drive, 10 plays. Eric Rhett carried it in from the 1. His second 1-yard touchdown run of the afternoon.
And it was Willie Jackson's punt return, too, that was responsible for that great field position.
LSU has a new quarterback. On the option, the pitch to Arnie Moore, and the Gators stuff it behind the line of scrimmage. Ryan Huffman is the new LSU quarterback, a redshirt freshman from Houston, Texas.
Kevin Carter, again with his penetration, destroys the concentration of Huffman as he attempts to make the pitch.
Huffman completed 4 out of 5 against Auburn, and then against Colorado State was 0 for 6. He's been inconsistent, as really have all their quarterbacks. Huffman, good runner, but will not get away from Ed Robinson. Florida can smell the victory now in the fourth period with a 15-point lead.
Eddie Robinson does a great job hustling out from his inside linebacker position to contain Huffman. And then with the one arm tackle. That's all that off-season weightlifting paying off right there.
Robinson out of the same high school that produced Dexter McNabb. The Funiac Springs Walton High School. Third down. Huffman intending the pass for Jacob. A fine play by Larry Kennedy. Fourth down for LSU.
Wesley Jacob had a step initially on Larry Kennedy as Huffman really unloads the ball deep along the sideline, but Kennedy does not give up, and with his speed and diving effort takes the completion attempt away from Jacob.
That's a big play by an all-SEC type performer, Larry Kennedy. Brian DeSalles punts again for the Tigers. End over end, Willie Jackson from his 44. Will not get away from the Tigers this time, as Gabe Northern was the first man on the scene for the LSU Tigers. The broadcast rights to today's telecast have been granted to Sports Channel Florida by the University of Florida, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of this program without the express written consent of Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. 40-yard kick by DeSalles, a 2-yard return for Willie Jackson. Curly Hallman, his second year as head coach at LSU, 5-6 last season. Rhett beginning to find some daylight now, and he grinds out 7 or 8 yards again on first down. Gilliard on the stop. Steve Babbitt's on the sideline. Steve?
I mentioned before about the character and courage of a Shane Matthews playing a little banged up. How about Eric Rhett trying to plug it away hurt? Lawrence Hatch, who was hurt pretty bad with the back injury on that kickoff return, he kept going back out there and playing. A lot of character, a lot of courage, and this crowd is so loud now in the second half. The players are playing off that energy. It's a give and take. When the crowd is up there, so is the team.
Rhett again, near the first down marker. He's up around 78 yards now for the game.
Of course,
they've been tough to come by.
These Gators, excuse me, David, these Gators in the midst of a 13-game winning streak here at Florida Field since Coach Spurrier's returned to his alma mater, and they're continuing to have success at home this afternoon as they're leading LSU 28-13 here midway in the fourth quarter.
Matthews hit 8 of his first 9 passes in the first half and then missed 5 in a row. Gators go to Rhett for the first down, and he'll have enough, I think. We've got a pretty good angle on it, and it appears he's got the first down by several inches. Boy, that home crowd, the home field advantage is such a real thing in college football, isn't it? I mean, you talk about it, but it is so very real. Look at Arkansas and Tennessee earlier on this Saturday. The Gators look like 2 different football teams at times, the one that goes on the road and the one that plays here at Florida Field.
That's a tremendous boost to your morale to have the crowd with you on every play, and you certainly get that kind of support here at Florida Field.
Rhett gets the call. And a yard. He was tackled by Robert Thibodeau. It'll be second down and 9. Clock ticking down. 8:50 to play in the ball game. Gators 28, the LSU Tigers 13. And we said at halftime, Jim, that whichever team was able to begin to run the ball a little bit was going to be the team to win the game. Fortunately for the Gators, that team has been Florida.
Right. The guys in blue.
Brett, little counter play. The Gators have used this play with a great deal of success. Penalty flag goes down.
I think they caught Willie Jackson blocking in the back. He was just trying to help Red in the secondary, but hit the defender in the back. That counter play worked so well last year, and the year prior to that, we really haven't seen it that much this year.
10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. It'll be a second down.
Tough day for
Willie Jackson.
For Willie.
Trying to help out his, yeah, he's grabbing a jersey. You can't do that, Willie. Especially with the official standing about 4 yards away.
Second down and about 20. Matthews with good protection. Oh! Jack Jackson could not hold on to that one with LSU Tigers all around him. Walkup and Fuller both had good coverage on the freshman.
Vincent Fuller, as we mentioned, was the starting tailback last year, now playing safety, and he was ready to unload on Jack Jackson. But what a super job of protection the offensive line did up front, as Matthews was able to step up strongly and zip that ball in the center of the field. Now the coach has given Jackson some instruction on how to look that ball into your gut.
In a crowd.
Coach Spurrier's run a lot of routes in his career, of course.
Third down. Everett. Hilliard is there, but Everett has the first down at the 30-yard line of LSU.
That's what he wanted right there. Trey Everett goes up, looks the ball right into his chest, cradles it. Shane Matthews now looking sharp, on target consistently, as we see the drag route, the hook in the interior, and the senior Trey Everett with the big catch.
It's amazing what a little success in the running game can do for your whole offense, isn't it? Take a little pressure off the quarterback. Kedra Malone to the 29. 2nd and 9. John Morgan made the tackle. 3-time academic All-SEC player, number 90 for LSU.
Oh, look at that, would you? 10 first downs for the Gators, a big goose egg for LSU in the second half. That's the difference, obviously, in what was a one-point ball game at halftime.
To Malone. That was a great play by the Gators, because I think everybody in the stadium, including LSU's players, thought that Matthews still had the football.
Avery Hilliard finally on the tackle all by himself in the secondary. There's
a
Kedra
9-yard gain.
Watch how quick this young man is. He's in the middle. Now he scoots to the outside, dances back inside.
3rd down and a yard. Gators nearing 400 yards in total offense. Steve Spurrier wanted to get a timeout, and the time ran out on the Gators. They had 3rd and a long one, and now they're going to get 3rd and 6. Spurrier was dancing along the sideline trying to get his team to call a timeout.
Offense, still be 3rd down.
That's a false start against the Gators.
Yeah, that visor hit the ground again as Coach Spurrier couldn't believe the confusion he saw in the field with his offense. And
so now 3rd and 6.
The attempted checkoff play obviously did not work because not enough time on the clock.
The way Florida's defense has played in the second half, they might use 2 downs to try and get a first here. Penalty flag down. They had a man in motion. The pass was caught by Willie Jackson, but it won't count. Tight end was still moving when the ball was snapped. And they'll be marched 5 yards back.
Be a 3rd down.
Well, the physical part was good. The mental part was bad. The physical part was the quarterback delivering the football to the wide receiver, but Greg Keller has to get down. He's in motion. Your backs can be in motion when the ball is snapped, but not the guys up front.
The good news for Florida is the clock continues to wind down on this marathon drive. Now only 5.5 minutes left in the football game, and the Gators lead 28-13. The bad news is the Gators offense is sputtering here, and it continues to do so as Shane Matthews wants a timeout. So the clock is stopped with 5 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the football game, and Florida leading LSU in this Southeastern Conference battle 28-13. Florida Gators grinding out the clock in this 4th period on an extended drive, and they lead by 15 with 5:25 left. The Orange and Blue look to tame the Tigers of Auburn University Saturday, October 17th, 11:30 p.m. at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Don't miss this SEC rivalry on Sports Channel. Check local listings for Sports Channel and Gator Vision coverage in your area.
Auburn at Mississippi State this weekend, so that'll be a big Southeastern Conference battle.
3rd down and 11. Matthews has Bilkey, the fullback. Only get 4 yards. Buckles was there, and the Gators now have a 4th down decision to make. I really think that they would have gone for it if they had not shot themselves in the foot with a couple of penalties, but this might be too much distance to try and maneuver.
Yeah, they forced themselves into attempting the field goal.
LSU, I think, has used a timeout. The Tigers down by 15. So this is obviously a big play for LSU in their hopes to try and get back in this football game. They're 2 scores down now. Even a field goal by the Gators would put them 3 scores down with only 5:16 left. That would pretty much end their hopes of realistically thinking they can come back and win the game.
Bart Edmiston, who had 2 successful kicks in Starkville about 10 days ago, will be out to see if he can keep his streak alive.
Go, Tiger!
LSU always travels a nice core of fans, and this was no exception here. About 8,000 LSU fans are in Gainesville for the game.
Of course, a lot of them are Floridians who traveled up to see their team play to Gainesville here.
46-yard attempt by Edmiston. He had the leg, but he left it wide out to the right.
Wide right?
Wide right. We've heard that before.
Not in this context, though.
LSU takes over. 5:11 left, and they still have hopes of coming back, although with no first downs in the second half. Offensively, the Tigers got a long way to go to establish anything against the Gators. Jamie Howard, the freshman who started the game, is back in at quarterback.
I don't think LSU's gotten more than 20 or 30 yards in total offense in the second half.
They have 11 yards in total offense in the second half.
Isn't that something?
Had 2:21 at the half, and they've got 2:32 now.
That's some excellent sideline coaching going on right there. If you can make an adjustment at halftime and then come down and literally shut the other guy down. Of course, LSU had little production running the football anyway, but passing they had quite a bit of success in the first half.
They'll go to the air here on first down. Howard throwing deep for Ray, and the pass is overthrown and incomplete. Del Spear covers. Let's take a look at some game notes from this football game. LSU's freshman quarterback has completed 15 of 27 passes for 196 yards. Scott Ray has had a big afternoon with 6 receptions for 82 yards. Pedro Suarez has kicked a couple of field goals. The Gators have had excellent play from Matthews and Greg Keller. New Orleans native has had a big game along with Jack Jackson. Those two have been key receivers for Shane Matthews. Howard, his throw is caught, and that's catch number 7 for Scott Ray. Ray had 5 receptions on the season coming into this game. He's got 7 today.
Jamie Howard was able to get away from the pressure of Kevin Carter. There was no tackle getting penetration, and once the end ran around the outside, the quarterback Howard simply stepped up, scooted to the right, and looked for his favorite receiver on this day anyway, Scott Ray.
Now the Tigers are in Florida territory. If they can get a quick score here, it could get real interesting. Pass thrown behind Jacob, incomplete.
Gators coming with a blitz there from the inside linebackers.
Steve Babick standing by on the field. Steve?
David, usually about, maybe a couple hundred recruits will come see a game. Today it's about 130 because today's a big day. It's SAT test day for a lot of high school seniors. So as the Gators are trying to score a victory here, a lot of high school seniors trying to score on their test, so they'll be eligible to be recruited when recruiting time comes in February.
And there are some that sweat out that test more than they do the Friday night football game, I guarantee you.
Yeah, I was one of those, I think.
2nd and 10, pressure from the outside, and a pass is picked off. Ben Hanks looking to keep those feet moving, and he is caught from behind and then brought down on the front side by Darren Landry. That's the first pass interception of the year for the Gators.
The first interception of the 92 season. Isn't that something? And we talked about the Gators having problems getting the opponent's turnover. This afternoon we've seen a fumble and a interception. Ben Hanks, number 11, the guy that wears Steve Spurrier's old number, comes up with the big interception. The ball was underthrown, but Hanks has excellent speed and shows his running ability before he runs into the big offensive tackle who shuts him down just outside LSU's 40-yard line.
Eric Rett slipped away from one man and got 2 yards, 2nd and 8. Take a look at the tail end of this play, Jim.
Monty Groh on the sack attempt almost gets there in time. Now he's laying on top of the quarterback, and
no penalty flag was thrown on either one of those players.
That looked like a hockey game there, didn't it?
Counter play to Rett. Rett picks up 3 or 4 more to the 36. Thibodeau on the tackle for the Tigers.
Really, the young quarterback is going to have more poise than that, because that was a good clean hit on the blitz. He didn't like it, which we all understand, but he's just got to simply get up and button his lip and forget about it. He came up fighting that time, and you don't want to pick fights with too many of those defensive guys, especially if you're a quarterback.
McCorvey was all over that play. Ran a flea flicker in the first half and could have scored a touchdown had it not been for a drop pass, but it didn't work at all this time. McCorvey's all over it.
Yeah, the defensive staff simply outguessed the offensive staff right there and had the right blitz called for that attempted flea flicker.
Darryl McCorvey comes from a Pensacola family that produced Florida State defensive back Errol McCorvey. He's got 10 brothers and sisters.
Whoa.
28-13, the Gators lead with 3:11 left in the football game. We'll be back. Shane Edge stands deep to punt for the Gators on 4th and 12. Edge will try to get one down inside the 20.
I think they're going to accept the penalty here intentionally, maybe. Are they trying to eat the clock up? Nope.
Buckles fair catches the ball at the 12-yard line, which they'll coach you if you're inside the 10 to let it hit, but if you're on the other side of the 10 to go ahead and fair catch it, and that's what he did. 32-yard punt. And a job well done that time by Shane Edge. Freshman coming back for more.
You got to understand, this kid was playing high school football last year in Louisiana. Now he's the starting quarterback for the Bengal Tigers in the Southeastern Conference. So that's a big change, obviously, but he's really done an excellent job.
LSU has no choice but to go to the air now. They've got a man breaking open. And to midfield goes Brett Besh, a sophomore walk-on player out of Slidell, Louisiana.
Boy, what a beautiful pass. Howard right on the button to Besh. Got the protection, and look at the ball, the tight spiral deep down the field, and LSU is just across the midfield line.
The Tigers have only one timeout left. Almost picked off, and Robinson got a fingertip or two on it. Intended for Harold Bishop, the tight end. Clock stopped, 2:47 left. LSU has 264 yards passing and only 36 yards rushing today. Gators on a blitz. Howard throws, Ray catches. White tackles. Ray goes down at the 35-yard line.
Lawrence Hatch in coverage, and he was injured earlier this afternoon. There's the blitz by Groh, the safety. Hatch in coverage, misses the tackle initially. LSU obviously having to pass on every play right now.
Pass intended for Torrey James. Touchdown, LSU. And there's still 2.5 minutes left in the game, and the Tigers have just made it interesting. 35-yard play.
Well, Larry Kennedy was there. Larry Kennedy was there, but Torrey James, who is another true freshman, outleaps him, times his leap beautifully. And LSU comes up with the bomb for the touchdown in a situation where the Gators knew they had to pass on every play.
They went 88 yards in 4 plays.
Torrey James, 6'2", a giant target at wide receiver.
Here's a big 2-point conversion. 9-point difference in the ball game. Howard rolling out, looking for the end zone. And they got it. Jacob on the receiving end. It is 28-21 with 2.5 minutes left in the game. And now the Gator offense is going to be called upon to use up some clock.
Jamie Howard once again gets outside the containment of the Gator defense and is able to look inside and finds Jacob.
You know, we talked about, and we didn't realize really how important it was going to be, but on the Gators' last possession, when they kept getting penalized and pushed back and then missed a field goal, we talked about what that 3 points would have done for them, and they didn't get it. Now look what happens.
Yeah, I really didn't think it would be a factor because LSU has not had success moving the ball, even though they were within striking reach on the scoreboard. They really had shown no life on offense at all in the second half. But as soon as the Gators missed that field goal, what happens? They come back with a beautiful drive and some great big passes by the freshman quarterback.
I think the freshman quarterback really impresses you. He got knocked down. He threw an interception. He got knocked down. It was almost like a wake-up call. He comes back on the next series. Boom, 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 boom. 4 plays later, they're in the end zone.
Well, and everyone's pulse rate is up right now in this stadium, especially the folks wearing orange and blue.
LSU down by a touchdown now, and do you think they might try an onside kick?
Well, the ball's horizontally on the tee right now.
There it comes.
Oh, he got it.
Ball is loose, and the Tigers have it. But Geese has fallen on the football at the 40-yard line of Florida. 2:28 left. A perfectly executed onside kick by the Tigers.
And I don't think the Gators had their prevent.
Yeah, they had a lot of hands out there on the field.
Well, they were sure short-handed on that far side of the field once the ball.
And LSU is all over.
Loose.
Now the Gator defense called upon to stop the LSU Tigers, who moved the ball 88 yards on 4 plays just a moment ago. The freshman quarterback brings his team to the line of scrimmage. 2:28 left. Howard throwing, and the pass is caught by Besh at the 17-yard line.
Brett Besh, who played very little, if at all, in the first half, has come out in the fourth quarter with 2 great catches. And Jamie Howard is right on target, deep downfield, as Will White is beaten by Besh.
2:18 left in the game. Gators come on a blitz. Howard throws it up for grabs. Besh cannot get to it in the end zone.
And Jamie Howard threw it away, but he threw it in the area where he at least gave his receiver an outside chance of possibly running under it. A lot of poise again by that young freshman quarterback under the heat of the blitz.
2 minutes and 8 seconds left.
LSU needs the touchdown.
The Tigers have Ray and James wide left and right. Pump fake, throw for the end zone, and Ray, and he caught it, but he was out of bounds. Scott Ray, who has 8 receptions already today, had his 9th, but he was out of bounds.
Gosh, what a great job Howard did, too, as he was checking off and he was giving signals to the receiver to his left, to the wide side of the field. Then he comes back, does not look left at all, and goes immediately to the right side of the field. There's the pump. And the attempt to get the ball to Ray, who is just out of bounds. The biggest third down play of the ball game right now.
Right now, LSU behind Jamie Howard does not look like a 1-4 football team, does it? Oh, he fumbled the football.
And we have no idea who's underneath that pile. They're going to have to get a crane to remove the bodies there.
I think the quarterback probably got right back on top of it.
But it's a wasted play for the Bengal Tigers as the quarterback simply moves away before the snap is made. We don't know if he mistakenly mistook the snap count himself or the center did not deliver the ball properly, but nonetheless, it's 4th and in essence goal. Although they can pick up the first down, but
maybe the inexperience of the freshman finally took hold there. He had been making some marvelous plays and then appeared to step back away from the center on the wrong count. But what a job by Jamie Howard. Quickly, as LSU has used its final timeout of scoring summary, the Tigers led in the first period on the Suarez field goal. Fumble recovery gave them the field position. The Gators then went up 7-3. Matthews passed to Greg Keller, gave the Gators the lead there. LSU went up 10-7 on the touchdown pass from the freshman to fellow freshman Chris Hill. That was a 4th and 1 play that LSU scored on deep in Florida territory. Matthews answered back as he threw the touchdown strike to freshman Jack Jackson. The Gators led 14-10 late in the second period. LSU got a late field goal with the help of a personal foul call against the Gators, and the halftime score was 14-13. Eric Rhett diving over the top in the third period made it 21-13. Rhett again, as Rhett was the ball carrier on that drive to make it a 15-point lead, but then the Tigers have responded, cutting the lead to 28-21, and here they are, 4th down inside of Florida's 20-yard line. 4th and 11 for the Tigers. 1:48 left. Howard throwing for Jacob in the end zone. It is incomplete.
Monty Groh on the inside, Lawrence Hatch on the outside. Doing a beautiful job in coverage of Wesley Jacob as he ran the out and up.
That was a great pass. That pass was on target. It took a great defensive play to deny LSU a touchdown.
Jamie Howard, the young true freshman, actually having to throw as he's about to be hit, and the ball, as you mentioned, actually could have been caught.
That was a great pass.
Whoa. Phew. Yeah, you see Rich McGeorge exhaling right there as Ron Zook was on his knees.
LSU has no timeouts left, so if the Gators can hold on to the football, they're in pretty good shape, leading by a touchdown.
LSU had no success at all on offense for a quarter and a half.
More than that.
Well, I'm talking about specifically the second half. And then the last half,
3 minutes.
Quarter, they just move the ball at will, throwing the ball. It scares you to death, doesn't it?
Freshman grew up today, didn't he?
Whoa.
Jamie Howard. 2nd and 9 at the 20. 1:11. Florida's job, if they can get a first down, it's over, but don't fumble and stay in bounds. And Eric Rhett does both. And picking up a couple of more yards. Clock winding down. Florida will have to run another play, leading 28-21. They may have really dodged a bullet here today against LSU.
I think it was a cannonball there late in the fourth quarter. That bullet turned into a cannonball, didn't it?
Clock is down to 2 on the 32nd clock when finally a handoff, and Rhett comes up short of the first down, but the Gators don't have to snap it. That'll be the final play of the game, and they have survived here at Florida Field. Oh, wait a minute. Florida has called a timeout. There's an injured player. LSU's got an injured player. Which you got to wonder a little bit about here, Jim, in this situation.
It looks to be a true injury, although
Robert Thibodeau.
Coaches have been known to use this as a ploy to stop the clock when they're out of timeouts, but Thibodeau.
Well, he'll get an Academy Award if he's not hurt. It's a good job of acting. He's limping off the field. Now they can start the clock again, and still the Gators don't have to snap the football as time is just going to expire, and that's going to be the end of the ball game. So Florida gets by here at home. They snap that little 2-game losing streak, and Florida Field, the home crowd is good to them. Steve Spurrier still undefeated at home as a head coach of the Florida Gators, now 14-0. Curly Hallman. His LSU Tigers drop to 1-5. And Florida evens up at 2-2 on this still young football season here in Gainesville. 28-21 the final score. The Gators victorious over the LSU Tigers, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Florida Field. There you see the final score. The Gators get by a whisker here this afternoon. They survive a late LSU rally and go on to win it 28-21. And Steve Babick is standing by on the field with what I'm sure is a very relieved head coach, Steve Spurrier. Steve?
And I'm with head coach Steve Spurrier. And coach, good to be home, a close victory. Your thoughts right after the game?
Well, Steve, we almost gave a game away here, and that is very depressing. We got 3rd and 1. And our quarterback decides he wants to audible with a 15-point lead. We did a lot of stupid things, let them throw it over our head here with a 15-point lead several times. We're not a good team right now. We're a lousy coach team, and I'm the coach, so I got to take responsibility. But maybe the win will help us to feel like we can win. But right now, we're a sorry team, and we ain't coaching them very good.
Okay, there's the thoughts of Coach Spurrier, and we'll go back up now for some final words from David Steele and Jim Yarbrough.
Boy, not only was the coach relieved, he was not very happy with his football team, and it's got to be disappointing, Jim, to see a 15-point lead almost completely disappear within the span of about 3 or 4 minutes. That's what happened to the Gators this afternoon.
Well, he was expecting the team to turn it around completely here at Florida Field this afternoon, and he really did have things under control midway through the 4th quarter, but then the missed opportunity, picking up that first down coach mentioned, and then LSU all of a sudden with a young quarterback just gets on fire and almost pulls this thing out, and scared a lot of Gator fans, including us.
No question about that, but on the bright side, you have to look at the second half of the game, and you almost could see that fun and gun offense back in operation with a good, strong mix of the run and the pass, and that has to be what the coaches will look at and try to build upon for next week at Auburn.
Well, especially when the running game did not exist at all for 2 weeks prior to this ball game. The running game was untracked a bit this afternoon. Shane Matthews again got on target, got some touchdown passes. I don't think he threw an interception, right? So a lot of good things did happen, but the coach is disappointed, and he wants this team to be better, obviously.
Gators will have to get better because a pretty good Auburn team will be in here next weekend, and of course we'll have it for you right here on Sports Channel. Be sure to join us again Saturday, October 17th at 11:30 p.m. when the Auburn Tigers come calling to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium to battle the Florida Gators. Check local listings for Sports Channel and Gator Vision coverage in your area. Along with Jim Yarbrough, I'm David Steele. Once again, the final score, the Gators 28, the LSU Tigers 21.